and talk to a lawyer if you're still unsure whether or not your content should be marked as made for kids.
Can you believe that at this point, just being a YouTuber, just wanting to upload videos in the first place, YouTube recommends you talk to a lawyer? No moi, it's Joinen, and it's a new day, which means there's a new stress in YouTubers' lives about whether they're going to continue to be able to make the money to support themselves. YouTube has just released a video, important update for all creators, complying with COPPA. And in this video, they outline some of the changes that YouTube is undergoing that will potentially change YouTube as a platform. So we're gonna take a look at it and stick around. I understand there's laws and laws can be boring, but this is actually really big, important stuff, and it could absolutely affect you and your whole experience on YouTube. So with that little fear-mongering preamble, let's get into it.
If you create content for YouTube, this video is very important to watch as it describes changes to the upload process, all of your existing videos, and potentially your monetization.
It's not just me. Imagine as a YouTuber waking up in the morning and seeing this video that you apparently have to watch, and in the first 10 seconds, you hear that. It's pretty spooky times, and that was a very serious face.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm the head of family partnerships here at YouTube.
Hi, Lauren. Pleased to meet you.
I'm gonna go through important new requirements for all videos that you should take action on as soon as possible, and then answer some questions you might have about this update. We shared the steps we're taking that will help creators comply with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. In order to help you comply with the law, we're now required to ask you to mark all of your videos as made for kids or not. Important
distinction there. While we like to hang it on YouTube for all the difficult hoops they make us jump through, this is a law. This is, I suppose, out of their control. But now, as they've just said, every single video you upload, you have to mark whether it's for kids or not. Now that already raises many questions. The first of which being, does every video have to be simply for kids or not for kids at all? This whole time, it's becoming increasingly difficult to make mature content on YouTube. And now they're asking us to define whether our videos are made for kids or not. It's kind of creating a smaller and smaller category for what content we're actually kind of allowed to make. But it gets worse.
You know your videos and audience best. So we've launched a new audience setting that lets you tell us if your videos are made for kids or not. We'll use machine learning systems to help us find content that is clearly made for kids. Like all automated systems, it's not perfect. If you don't set your audience, or if we detect error or abuse, we may set your audience for you. Okay,
so I guess what they're saying there is that it's completely up to you, except in the cases where our little machine program decides that it's not, but whatever. Hopefully that doesn't become a pain in all of our behinds.
If you know that your whole library of videos is made for kids or not made for kids, you can set your audience at the channel level.
Yeah, so by them asking us to define whether our videos are for kids or are not for kids, it creates sort of an annoying situation where there may be plenty of channels out there who try to make content that's kind of fit for everyone, but that's not allowed anymore.
But make sure to choose the option that makes the most sense for that specific video. Again, it's incredibly important that you take these steps to set your audience accurately.
The seriousness in their language cannot be missed. They're not kidding around here with this video. They're kind of saying here that you are actually legally responsible for this decision. Now, they don't mention the legal ramifications, but we'll get to those in a second.
Realize this is a big change, so let's dive into some questions you may have. What's considered made for kids content?
Exactly.
When deciding whether or not your channel or video is made for kids, you should think about factors like the subject matter of your video, whether children are your intended audience for the video, whether the video includes child actors or models, whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures.
You got that? Spider-Man and Elsa videos?
Whether the language of the video is intended for children to understand, whether the video includes activities that appeal to children, such as play acting, simple songs or games, or early education, whether the video includes songs, stories, or poems that appeal to children.
I'm going to assume that I don't fall in this strange gray area where Actually, a lot of my videos do include all of this, but that's just because I'm reacting to the content. So let's hope the automated system doesn't get on my back about that. I was a little bit confused about what this all actually meant, and so I went ahead and created a YouTube account for 12-year-old Bob Steffer. Or Bob Steffer. I had to like link it up with my account, and I'm like the parent and all that kind of stuff. Turns out, if you are a kid, you cannot go on YouTube. If you're under 13 years old, YouTube isn't available with your Google account. Now, I don't know if that's a change as of today or whether this has always been the case, but that's something that I don't think has ever actually crossed my mind before. The fact that apparently kids with an actual Google account can't even go on YouTube. Whereas if you are over 13 years old, you can go on YouTube and you can still see all of the stuff that is made for kids. Now, if your brain is ticking super fast, you may start to think up a little loophole here, because not for kids content doesn't show up on the YouTube Kids app, but for kids content does show up on normal YouTube. So in order to hit the most amount of people, wouldn't you want to make content that is fit for kids? Setting aside the fact that that would control your content into a direction that you may not want to go down, there are far worse ramifications here that I think could actually change content on YouTube in general.
Ultimately, we can't provide legal advice, so we're unable to confirm whether or not your content is made for kids. That decision is up to you, taking into consideration these factors.
But we do have a machine learning system that will decide things for you if we think that you are selecting the wrong choice. They can't give us legal advice, but they can change the option on our videos.
Check out our help center and talk to a lawyer if you're still unsure whether or not your content should be marked as made for kids.
Can you believe that at this point, just being a YouTuber, just wanting to upload videos in the first place, YouTube recommends you talk to a lawyer? This is crazy times.
How old is a kid?
How long is a piece of string?
Is defined as anyone under 13. If you set your content as made for kids, what does this mean for your channel?
Here's the meat that I actually want to get into.
We will start limiting the data we collect on made for kids content to comply with the law. Because of this, videos that you mark as made for kids will be treated differently on YouTube. Some features like comments will no longer be available. Most importantly, those videos won't show personalized ads, so some creators may see a decrease in revenue.
There you go. So no, you absolutely do not want to be making content that is for kids, because first of all, no one would be able to comment on it, as well as this massive list of other things that you don't get.
Starting in January, if you mark a specific video as made for kids, features like comments, personalized advertising, info cards, end screens, and more won't be available on individual videos.
That's pretty crazy, but personalized advertisements is the big one. So if you have a channel that makes content for kids, the ads that are showed on that video can no longer be personalized to the viewers. Now that might seem like a minor thing, but when you actually look into it, so this article on TubeFilter says, we asked creators to go into Creator Studio and disable personalized ads for a few days. Based on our initial testing, a video not running personalized ads sees a loss in revenue somewhere between 60 to 90%. So if a video on a given channel could generate $100 in revenue for a creator right now with personalized ads running, categorizing the video as directed to children would mean the video's revenue would drop to somewhere between $10 and $40. Which is insane. But that's not even all. If the FTC decides an uploaded video is kid-directed, but sees it not marked as kid-directed, the creator could face a fine of over $42,000. That financial liability is enough to bankrupt most creators. So here I am, just doing my thing, making almost daily videos. Making videos on all sorts of subjects. The FTC could at any point decide to step in and be like, no, that video you made in May of last year, that one could actually be kind of seen as a video for kids, and then fine me $42,000. Now, I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm generally optimistic that the FTC isn't just going around and stinging creators. I think it's more for like Cocomelon or something. Channels that are absolutely clearly for kids and are just absolutely raking in that dough and can absolutely afford $42,000 Oh, it's per video. Per video. Okay, so we've established monetarily wise how scary this is. How does this actually affect YouTube and the content you may continue to see? Well, if we just strafe over a little bit to the right here, we see all these videos that I look at on quite a regular basis. We have channels like Brightside, Woohoo, Troom Select, 5-Minute Crafts. How would you classify these channels? Are these channels for kids or are they not? I've gone on record to say, I think they're supposed to be for kids, but they don't really seem like they're for kids. I don't really know how Troom or Brightside or 5-Minute Crafts are going to classify their videos. Because either way, it is potentially horrible for them. If they go ahead and mark their videos as for kids, then they will quite possibly see a revenue decrease of 60 to 90%, meaning that it's potentially not even financially viable for them to continue making their content. So channels like 5-Minute Crafts and Troom could simply vanish. Alternatively, they could decide that, nah, this channel is actually not for kids. Have you seen some of the stuff we put in our videos? In which case, they would be walking a very dangerous line there, running the risk of receiving $42,000 fines for every single one of their videos, should the FTC decide that their video is actually for kids. Not to mention the fact that even if they are willing to run that risk, now no one under the age of 13 can watch their videos. So, begs the question, who would be watching their videos? You can imagine 5-Minute Crafts and Troom and Brightside, they're all getting their many lawyers on the side to muster up a case for them. But I would not be surprised if we see a significant decrease in these borderline channels. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see a significant increase in channels that are just for kids, because overnight they have just become insanely less financially viable. There could be a black hole there as channels decide that they can't do it anymore and new channels pop up and they decide, well, we'll take their place. I don't mind making a bit less money. I'm not Coco Melon. Who really knows? And of course, if channels like Brightside, 5-Minute Crafts, and Troom disappear, well then I'll just lose a whole lot of content, won't I? Anyway, let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments below. Realistically, does it affect me very much? It probably doesn't, but I do think for some channels it could potentially be devastating. Who really knows how it'll go from here? I guess we'll see. Thanks for watching. Get some wholesome Joinen merch in the description below, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching my video, but now that it's done, please watch another one.